section about my pet rock's past.
My pet rock may have only been in my bedroom for 5 years, but they lived underground for hundreds of millions of years. They may not have been able to see anything in the darkness, but imagine all the different noises they might have heard across the millions of years. They lived through it all. Rocks may not actually be conscious, but whether you like it or not, these events really happened in Earth's past. Here are some of the real-life noises the rock may have actually heard, if rocks could hear. We will follow the rock's journey chronologically through time.
Trickle, trickle. Rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. Rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. Rabbit, 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 rabbit. Rabbit, rabbit. Rabbit, rabbit. Rabbit, 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 rabbit. Drip, drop, drip, drop, drip, drop, drip, drop, drip, drop, drop, drip, drop, drip, drip, drop, 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 drippity drop, drip, drop, drip, drip, drop, drop. Grr, rawr, grr, rawr, grr, rawr, grr, rawr, grr, rawr, grr, rawr. Grr, rawr, grr, rawr, grr, rawr, wrong, grr, rawr, wrong, grr, 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 rawr. Grr, rawr. Gar, 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 gar. Tweet, 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 tweet. Yabba dabba doo. Yabba dabba doo. Ooga booga, ooga booga. Ooga booga. Yabba dabba doo. Ooga booga. Ooga booga. Yabba dabba doo. Hiya! Hiya! Hi-hoo! Hiya! Ah-hoo! Hiya! Yahoo! Hiya! Hoo! Moo, 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 moo. Bang, bang. Moo, bang. Oink, 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 oink.
Apparently, the term Ooga Booga has racist connotations. I did not realize that when I made the previous part. I'm hoping because I used the term for cavemen and not any group of modern humans that it's okay to include that part. I'm sorry and no racist intent was intended. Part 2. None of the pictures in this next part are AI. I will always mention if I ever use AI for anything. Anyway, the reason I included 10 minutes of The Rock Underground is to show what it was like for The Rock. Imagine how boring and frustrating it must have been for hundreds of millions of years with no activities to give you anything that would give you any Rock equivalent of dopamine from achieving anything. You can't talk or even see anyone. There would be no activities to give you any equivalent of oxytocin from connecting to anyone, and there would be no equivalent to serotonin from enjoying anything. The Rock would fall into a deep depression for millions of years. It would have been perpetually dark underground, nothing to do but listen to the same noises over and over again, and then over and over again some more. Imagine if The Rock became human. They would be able to talk and move. They could do anything. The world would be their oyster. How could they possibly go back to nothingness? The idea of going back would be so traumatic that even the thought of it would be unbearable. They would feel desperate to move and talk and desperate to actually do something. Although not everyone with chronic fatigue syndrome is bedbound, The Rock finds moving very difficult and stays in bed a lot. My Rock has chronic fatigue syndrome. When humans have chronic fatigue syndrome, they can have periods where moving is very difficult, but when their condition temporarily eases, sometimes they can want to do lots of things they haven't been able to do. Although skydiving may be a bit too extreme example. They can do a lot and then they overexert themselves and it makes their condition worse. Also in my story, I had not given The Rock borderline personality disorder yet. However, with borderline personality disorder, you can have impulsivity, all or nothing thinking, and extreme emotions. Someone with borderline personality disorder may be impulsive to the point where once they've started drinking, they can't stop. Because they feel such extreme emotions, they would do anything to numb the pain. Drinking in moderation may be hard because of their all or nothing thinking. They may have an unstable sense of self which could lead to feelings of emptiness. They may then feel the need to fill that emptiness with substances like alcohol. The next part is about me in real life, and so is real and non-fiction. However, the part about The Rock will become relevant in a few minutes' time. Autistic people like myself can attribute human-like characteristics or emotions to animals or inanimate objects. I've made hours of videos personifying rocks, but I know rocks aren't actually conscious or people. I just like to pretend they are. People with psychosis can see faces and objects that aren't faces. So this is like how sometimes objects like clouds or rocks sometimes look like they've got faces in them, and this is known as pareidolia. Leading up to when I had a psychosis, I would see an object like a road sign and think it was a person. I'd look back at it and realise it wasn't a person. When I had the actual psychosis, though, I would be looking directly at an object and I still couldn't tell if it was an actual person. So this wasn't just seeing a face and an object like pareidolia is. This was the object actually looking indistinguishable from a whole human body. I coloured The Rock in and added hair to show this. Could my autism's ability to personify objects have influenced what hallucinations I got? In real life, when I had the psychosis, although I thought I was other human people, I also thought I was the wolf from Shrek, and I wore a pink shower cap around the house pretending to be the wolf with their pink hat. The fact that this was a non-human character may show how autistic people personify animals. Now here's a fictional story about an ordinary rock before it became the pet rock, where my hallucinations made it human. The rock person was now human. They could move and talk as much as they wanted. They went skydiving. They felt exhilarated, excited, amazed. They could eat human food. They didn't know what to eat, so they made ice lollies out of frozen soy sauce, curry sauce, chili sauce, frozen vinegar, and garlic mayonnaise. The rock never wanted to go back to being a rock. If I took my antipsychotic tablets, they would, though. The Rock thought they wanted to be human for just a little bit longer. When would they get a chance like this again, they thought, but they felt guilty. They hid the tablets. I was wandering around the house pretending to be a wolf. The Rock person was amused and thought I was just joking on and having a laugh, and didn't take my illness seriously. I said to the Rock, "According to me, Mr. Wolf, it's 9 p.m. Where is my tablet?" The Rock person said, "You're making me feel guilty for not giving you your tablet, but you're just joking on. I shouldn't feel guilty. I feel angry now, and it's your fault." I replied, "I'm not the boy who cried wolf. I am the wolf." The stone person was going out drinking every night, trying to make the most of their time. They came home. I inquired, "Where are my tablets?" They shouted, "I was a rock. I couldn't move or talk for hundreds of millions of years. You've been psychotic for a matter of weeks. I've been ill much longer than you. I deserve to be well. I'll give you your tablets soon enough. You can wait." I shouted, "I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow this house down if you don't give me the tablet. I'll eat grandma. I may be in sheep's clothing, but I could hurt you." I wanted to be away from the Rock. I hit walls. I threw a chair. I was feeling so overwhelmed and angry and not myself. The Rock saw me being ill. The stone felt so guilty. They were angry with themselves. They felt awful. But if I took my tablet, I'd stop hallucinating and the Rock person would go back to being an ordinary rock. The Rock couldn't go back. The stone couldn't cope. They went in the other room. I frantically left the house in the night. I didn't have time to change out of my pajamas. The human stone saw the door was unlocked. They rushed out after me. They realised how ill I was, and they thought they'd been such a jerk. They felt worried for me and searched everywhere until they found me and convinced me to come home. I said, "I'm not taking my tablet." The human rock said calmly and lovingly, "I'll make you something nice." The stone began making an antipsychotic sandwich. The human rock said, "At first I just wanted more and more time to live a little, but I looked it up, and the earlier they intervene, the better you will do. I suffered for a long time, trapped in the cold, dark ground, but if I don't help you, you could suffer for the rest of your life too. I realize now how ill you are. Take this tablet." I took the tablet as the rock began fading away. "Goodbye," they said with their last breath. People with autism can also personify objects. In about 5 years' time, the rock developed eyes and grew arms and legs. They could talk and move. Their wish had finally came true, and I wasn't psychotic anymore either. Although I no longer get psychosis, sometimes when I see something out the corner of my eye, like a road sign, my mind registers it as a human. In real life, my mind registered Rodney the road sign as a person, with funny, widely spread apart legs. Rodney is grumpy because he only gets to exist as a human for brief moments before I realise they're a road sign. Rodney likes beer and football, but it really bothers Rodney that he's stuck in one place and can't go to the pub. Things used to be different. When I had my psychosis, the road sign permanently looked like a human. Rodney had had a taste of glory, but things were different now. Rodney wallowed in self-pity. He felt as though he was being punished. After the grand experience of being a human, he was now confined to one road, locked in place. It was now night, and Rodney was still stuck in place. Then Rodney, the road sign, saw a shooting star. They made a wish. They wanted to be human. The next day, everything changed. You live for hundreds of millions of years. My dear Rock, all we did together, all we saw together, you were with me through my lows and highs, but that was just a blink of an eye for you, my Rock. I hope I was a good moment for you, and I hope you can savour this moment, because in the click of my fingers, it'll be gone.